You know how strikers are supposed to live for the big stage, right? Champions League nights under the lights, goals that make history. But some of them, for whatever reason, just couldn't get it done. We're talking about elite forwards, legends in their leagues, scoring week in, week out. But when it came to Europe, the goals just dried up. It's weird, it's frustrating, and honestly, it kind of defines how some fans remember them. So let's dive into the top 5 strikers who couldn't score in the Champions League. So, starting us off, Diego Forlán. And this one's wild because Forlán was a Golden Boot winner, World Cup hero, Europa League king with Atletico. But in the Champions League, nothing. He played 46 games in the competition and 6 goals. For a guy known for long-range screamers and clutch moments everywhere else, it just never clicked on Europe's biggest stage. Maybe it was the teams he was with, maybe just bad luck, but either way, his UCL record doesn't line up with the legend people remember. Next up, Carlos Tevez. Now, domestically, this guy was a beast, tearing it up at Man United, City, Juventus, relentless work rate, goals everywhere. But in the Champions League, honestly, his numbers don't match the reputation. Just 13 goals in 46 appearances, which is way below what you'd expect from a striker of his caliber. And it wasn't like he didn't get the chances. He played in strong sides, deep into the knockouts, but when it came to delivering those big European moments, he just never really had them. For a player known for stepping up on every other stage, it's a record that sticks out. All right, number 3 is Mario Gomez, and this one's a bit tricky. Stat-wise, he actually scored 31 goals in 44 Champions League games, which sounds solid, right? But here's the thing, when Bayern really needed him in those tight knockout games, he just wasn't that guy. Missed chances, criticism from fans and media, and the reputation of not showing up when it mattered most. In the Bundesliga, he was a machine, one of the most reliable scorers of his era. But in Europe's biggest competition, he's remembered more for what he didn't do than the goals he actually scored. So, at number 2, we've got Edinson Cavani. Now, don't get me wrong, this guy was a goal machine at PSG, Napoli, even with Uruguay. Clinical, tireless, all-time great numbers domestically. But the Champions League, it always felt like the stage was just a bit too big for him. He ended up with 35 goals in over 62 games, which isn't terrible, but when it came to those knockout ties, especially for PSG, he'd go missing. Fans remember the League One records, but in Europe, the criticism was always the same. Couldn't deliver when it really mattered. And finally, number 1, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. One of the greatest strikers of all time. Monster numbers everywhere he played. Serie A, La Liga, League One, even MLS. But the Champions League? That was always his curse. 48 goals in 124 appearances sounds fine, but the truth is, he never delivered when it mattered most. No iconic semi-final winners, no final appearances, and never lifted the trophy despite playing for Barcelona, Juventus, Inter, PSG, Milan, you name it. For all the swagger, the quotes, the legend of Zlatan, the one thing missing is Champions League greatness, and that's why he tops this list. And that's the list. Strikers who dominated everywhere else but just couldn't crack the Champions League. It's weird how football works sometimes, right? Anyway, if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around. I'm Ranking Reporter, dropping new top 5s every single day.